So in this pan, I've got a little bit of butter and I've got a little bit of oil, and I'm just obviously going to melt that down. I've got some chopped up onions that one of our students did for us yesterday, which I'm going to fry in a minute. I've got some mushrooms which I'm going to put into that, and then we're going to put the rice in. And the rice needs liquid, and we will slowly let the liquid absorb into the rice. Take about 15-20 minutes, and then I'll serve you some risotto rice. I need to obviously keep an eye on the sausage. I reckon about another 10 minutes.
Probably drop it to 18.
So I'm going to put my onions in here. So this is just a simple induction stove what I'm using here. It's a portable one. One of the best pieces of kit. Well, we've got some good kit at college, but this is one of the bits and pieces we really loved. I've actually used this in a car park before now, when it's been really windy, and it still works. It's really good. Cost about 120 quid,
yep.
I think.
150 now.
150.
Can you still use any pan on one? Because I thought one I had to buy something to also with metal to metal.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and no, you can't use every pan. It's usually these types of stainless steel ones. Sometimes it will tell you when you get it what pans you can use.
Is that induction?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Usually the heavier ones the better. I mean, we can use frying pans. I don't know. You know, a frying pan. We can use frying pans on it as well on here because it's quite heavy. But the thin ones, usually the thinner pans, they won't work. But that's a very good question because not all pans do work.
As long as the pans are magnetic, that's just how they that's how they work. Yeah.
So I'm gonna. The secret of this is try not to get too much colour. I always refer to the students. I always talk about hot dog onions. We all like hot dog onions, all the nice caramelised brown onion. But for this is exactly what we don't want. So we always say no hot dog onions for this, no caramelised. We just want the onions to soften and stay pale. I'm going to add some mushrooms in a minute, and then the rice will go in here in a minute. These are just button mushrooms, but I mean I don't know about you, but I love mushrooms. This is actually level 2. So the sausages that we made earlier, a lot of our level 3 students would be making sausages. So they'll be the ones sort of 18, 19 students coming to the end. But these risotto is actually a test that the level 2 students have to do. 45 minutes is it, JJ? They have to make a risotto, I think.
45 years.
I would suggest that my late wife had multiple sclerosis, so we used to do all our own cooking from raw.
Yep.
But we find there that button mushrooms are the best. Not button mushrooms, chestnut mushrooms.
I like chestnut mushrooms because of the.
They keep longer.
Yeah.
And they don't. I don't really know that. The white button mushrooms they brew very quickly.
Yeah.
Particularly once open. But the chestnut mushrooms, which you only get 5 pence here, easily last a week. They're going on.
Just got a nice earthy flavour to it as well.
Yeah.
And they do taste better.
Yeah, they've got less of the content, they're a bit meatier in texture.
We say for 5 pence, like us living on our own, you don't go shopping every day.
Just take much less cooking. So with button mushrooms, I always tell the students, when you think it's cooked, cook it longer. You need to really get to that nutty stage for the flavour to be expelled. But chestnuts is a lot less, so time saving. No, this is what it's about. So we're very open to discussions.
You can see that obviously I've got my onions and mushrooms in there. I still need a bit more cooking. That's not ready yet. But that's obviously about 4 or 5 minutes, and that's quite easy. That's you could. I've not put garlic in, but you can put garlic in. In things like this, you can put whatever you want in there. There's no. I don't think there's garlic in the recipe we use with the students. I don't think there's garlic in there, but you could put garlic in. Absolutely.
Garlic and everything. Natural antibiotic goes in everything.
I just got the students to weigh up for the risotto recipe they use for their tests, and I don't think there was garlic in that.
Do students need to pay for their ingredients?
No, when the student enrolls on the course, that course fee pays for the ingredients. Sometimes we might get the student to pay if they want to take stuff home. So if we make a quiche Lorraine and they want to take the quiche Lorraine home, then they would obviously pay a small contribution for that. They can go on to university. Most of them don't. Most of them do 1 or 2 years, possibly 3 years, and then go into jobs. But there is a route that they can go into university. They have to do another couple of more years once they leave college, but they can do. We've got 2, I think, 2, possibly 3 going into university this year. Second? I think it's Birmingham, isn't it? I think most of our students end up. There's a university in Birmingham that does culinary arts. It's more supervisory and patisserie, pastry, that they do up there.
Most university courses lean towards the event management side, so not the actual cooking side. So definitely a gap in the market, I reckon.
So I've had them cooking now for 5 or 6 minutes, and they're quite soft. I'm now going to add my risotto rice, which is arborio rice.
Has that been rinsed?
Yes, yeah, and it comes. She's on the board. I'm going to give this a minute just to get used to the heat, and then I'll start adding some liquid.
Impurities. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Let's go, Greg. We tend to use saucepan for the students because they have to use a ratio of three parts liquid to 1 part rice. With a larger base pan, the water expels much quicker. So they're going away from the recipe basically.
No, they're trying to teach the students to do a nutritious meal with the price.
And they're a little better.
Basically,
It's a nice meal to use up ingredients as well. So when I do this at home with my daughters, we make purees. So if you've got a butternut that's getting to its shelf life, we'll roast it, make puree. Same as soup, I don't like waste. I'm from Africa, we don't waste.
I'm doing a mushroom one now, but the students at college usually do butternut squash, don't they? They're for their exam, and they don't. Some of them don't even know what butternut squash is when they first come to college. But once they've tasted it and they've roasted it and they put it in here, they then soon realise actually it's really nice. Yeah.
It's usually quite funny when you interview the students. They're really passionate about food. They want to be a head chef one day, and then day one they've never fried an egg before. You go, hey, how is that possible? But B's like, you'll be a head chef. You can't cook. Do you cook at home? No.
And you show them the basic ingredients that we take for granted, some herbs and some vegetables. All right, most of them know what a carrot and an onion looks like, but then when you start going into different types of mushrooms and things like butternut squashes and swedes and turnips, it starts to catch a few of them out because it's not the kind of food they eat at home.
Do you go sit with herbs like oregano?
Yeah, we've done herb tasting.
They can't pronounce it either. Herbs.
Is this going to be a long exhibition?
No, this is
Just really 10 minutes.
I mean, this here. I mean, you two will be free here.
Until you kick us out.
Okay,
So you could be kicking us out in the next 5 minutes, I don't know. When the sausage, that's all.
something going on in the other room. I think they finish at 12.
We teach the students all about healthy cooking and stuff like that, but as soon as they leave college, they then go to KFC and McDonald's and Nando's, and then, how can you compete with that? So,
student fair. So what foods are available at the college?
So we have a contract caterer who provides the catering for the students. So they get different food every day. So they get well catered for. But our catering students do well, you know, when they do their lessons. So
Absolutely.
We tend to, they don't have to buy the ingredients. If they want to produce anything that, or purchase anything that's produced, we charge them a cost. So it's really just to cover the ingredients. So our level 2s did hot cross bun donuts. They made 12 tin foil sides. It cost them £1.20. And that was chocolate filled. So by taking that money, it goes back to my budget, and that means I can give less and less for free. So yesterday I made a cauliflower and bean curry, bit of food because I can't sell it on. So it gives us a chance just to give some back to them as well without filling my budget too much. Sorry? Do you know what, our foundation learning students, they come with a lot of learning difficulties and not quite ready for college yet. And they've got a lot now. I'm now meeting with them to start creating to teach them how to utilise those ingredients. So they brought in plums, something on a plum jam and a plum sponge. But also they're looking at producing some of the vegetables that we could potentially use on, so like onions, tomatoes, garlic. So they're learning, we get to use the stuff, it's a worthwhile. So it makes a massive difference. Saves you money. Exactly. So, I mean, food at the moment is exceptionally expensive. And there's some food we just can't get. It's ridiculous.
So is that linked to Brexit?
More Putin. Brexit a little bit, but I think.
So Ukraine's export of grain and oil, and neither of them can get out of Ukraine at the moment.
I think yes, but I think it's also the general people just aren't transporting at the moment. And then you've got the lorries issue at Dover as well. That is affecting it. But I think the country's going to wake up very soon and go, if you can't get tomatoes, grow tomatoes. I think they're quick to say we can't get something, but why can't we produce it? How many farmers are not utilising their farms correctly? So I think all of that is potentially...
Well, farmers under Europe will feed
Exactly, yeah.
I'm also slightly cynical, and obviously there's a lot of things you can blame the Ukraine thing. How many other people are just saying it's because of Ukraine and just putting the prices up anyway?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, how genuine is it all? I don't know.
Well, supermarkets are a big problem because the third problem is they don't take them, they don't ask us to. It's the wrong shape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurants, a lot of supermarkets now are selling wonky veg, but they're not reducing the price. So I think, you know, if it's something that potentially we're going to throw away, they can afford to charge cheaper.
Well, we grow blueberries, and whatever we grow,
Exactly, yeah.
Is the one
You know, I've tried, I don't agree with it at all.
What's the difference?
I think it's
For us, we buy by the kilogram.
because it doesn't.
Yeah. And white.
You taste the wonky one, you
Now,
taste
a
the
lot
normal
of
one.
chefs have gone back to it. They're called heritage or heirloom. So they're now going for these crazy colours, charging a fortune, and it's just a colour. It tastes exactly the same.
You can get orange tomatoes, yellow tomatoes.
Exactly that. Or cauliflower comes in orange, purple, white, green. So we'd be like, where possible, we'd go to Borough Market. And the students see that, they're going, what's wrong with it? And they're typically chemically altered. That's just natural. Exactly, yeah. But I mean, when I teach students where eggs come from, half the class haven't got a clue.
Yeah, we're also used
But I think now with Brexit, that's going to change a bit. I think seasonality in restaurants will be a lot more of a advertised thing. So if strawberries aren't in season, don't put on your menu.
I'm not going to
Or a roughage, you have to check.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think people now, it's quite scrupulous. It's all about profit first, and they don't think, if they charge us a little bit less, they will make more profit because more people will come.
Not because they're losing money, they want to make more money.
Exactly.
Not many people use the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Top speed going down because of COVID,
Yep.
with their codes.
But they're opening now, but with money-making providers. And
I think there's something, for me, it's no different to,
but they don't think, how are you going to get it?
yeah, actually taken, a set of things, and made something else. I think it's a creative industry. It's like, I get such a pleasure out of it.
Spencer on the campus down at University of Kent. And that's
Well, we used to be able to use the post offices, but they're closing as well. Now you have to go into a supermarket to get to a post office. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
So with the risotto, what I've been doing slowly while you've been talking, I've been adding some liquid to it. So every now and then I've just been adding some liquid. And all in here I've got some chicken stock. I've added some white wine.
How much liquid did you start with? You used
About half a litre. So I've started about 500 grams. Because the rice grains need to absorb the liquid slowly. So if I'd had it all in one go, it wouldn't have absorbed. Right. It would have cooked, but it
turned
wouldn't
to
have.
mush.
It wouldn't have
Almost like a
absorbed.
porridge.
So it needs to slowly absorb it. So that's why I add it a little bit at a time. I'm not far off now, I reckon. I haven't tasted the rice yet, but I'm not far off. Sausage again. I put out on the table as well in a second. And all I'm doing now is I just bring that back to the boil, and as it comes back to boil, the rice absorbs a little bit of the liquid, and it will just slowly thin out. So the consistency isn't going to be dry; it's going to be slightly wet. It's certainly not going to be like a soup or anything like that. As I say, I've just got some mushrooms and onions. I've got some Parmesan cheese, some parsley, which we'll put in a minute, and then we'll.
And sausages, can you reheat them? Or?
Yeah.
And the
Risotto not so good for reheating.
So it's better to prepare it.
Definitely. Yeah. If you want
Although,
to,
we do like to, with cold risotto that's left over, we'll then roll up in a ball and we'll crumb it and then deep fry it.
Right.
And that's a great way to reuse it without roasting.
Right.
A good rule of thumb with rice, same as pasta, is usually you cook it for 2/3 of the time before it really starts absorbing liquid. So if you're cooking pasta, we say if you add that pasta for the last third into your sauce, it will absorb the sauce instead of water, and you'll get a better flavoured product as well. So, like if you're cooking normal rice at home, instead of water, cook it with a stock cube. And also it will take on that stock flavour and just be a better product. So, little hints and tips.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
considering how much salt you take.
Today, not so much, but the Parmesan cheese is quite salty, so we automatically use less. In the restaurants, we'll add alternative products to which are salty, like capers, anchovies, stuff like that. So that will then increase the salt flavour, but without the heart disease and everything else. We also use healthier salts in restaurants. So things like Himalayan pink salt is a lot healthier than the table salt. It's got a lot more minerals and stuff like that. So.
We use a lot more salt in restaurants.
Oh, we do. we do.
We use about 6 or 7 times the amount.
I would agree with you. Like when people come around to my house for dinner, I have relatives come over and they always say, "Oh, why does your food taste so good?" And I literally just get a pot of salt. The difference between my food and your food is that. And you'd be amazed how much difference salt makes to your food.
I had a friend, he owned a Chinese restaurant, and he taught me a fair bit about cooking. You've got friends! Flames, there's 3 pots, and every time he cooked to me, it was,
Yeah.
what is it? Sugar, salt, concentrate.
That's sodium glutamate, yeah.
MSG.
So is this any good for diabetics?
This is a dish, no sugar, it's pure natural sugars, so that should be okay. We don't do a lot of sugar in this type of dishes anyway. We tend to use sugar when we roasting carrots and stuff like that, but we're quite cautious when we do stuff like this because it limits the markets.
So this is just normal Parmesan
And
cheese.
presumably you won't allow them to use microwaves.
I can barely use a microwave. It's one of those skills my brain refuses to learn. So,
Yeah, we don't use microwaves.
so all I know about a microwave, I put the bottles in, I put the lid on, I put it for 5 minutes, I take it out, I burn myself.
Right.
That's all I know about microwaves.
But what about the conventional ones? The ones that...
Even if it's one of the things I just don't want to learn. A lot of my cooking, I've gone back to basics, cooking a lot more classical styles, and I think it was just so much better. All these drizzles and dressings, I'm bored with that now. So I teach the students that, but home I cook basics. Sorry?
Hello.
I really like it. It's very easy to keep clean.
No, I tend to like an oven and I like gas,
We have one at college as well.
old school. But my daughters will learn how to cook old school as well. So I teach a lot about saving money. So my 14-year-old she can butcher a chicken and stuff like that. So she'll get many meals when you go to university. She'll save money and cook healthy. So that's their tip. Stay away from nuggets.
So that's it. I'm just about to boil it up. So basically, that was my onions, mushrooms, and then I added the risotto rice. Took what 15 minutes while we were talking, and I just slowly added some liquid as we went along. You can put anything in there. We didn't have to put garlic in there, but you can put all kinds of things into the risotto. Like at college, we use butternut squash, which I love. I love the colour.
Buttons.
And the
And
colour
baby
that it gives
spinach.
it as well. Spinach is spinach and ricotta is a good one.
Like Jojo was saying, it's a really good way of using stuff up. If you've got bits and bobs in your fridge and you're at a loose end, you can't think what you want to do with any, you can literally put anything in it, so whatever you want. I think it's a good one-pot meal, you know, not a lot of washing up to be done, doing it all in the one pan.
And because I was standing over controlling it, I'm controlling the pan, it's not burnt or anything like that. It won't take much to wash up.
But if you have to do the risotto, you can't leave it.
You have to doctor it, yeah.
You come back, you go to the toilet, you come back and you find
How
out.
many kids cope without touching the phone for 10 minutes?
You would use
We actually we allow phones in the kitchen, but only for recording their products.
Right, yeah.
So that everything's internet nowadays. So they load it up, they give comments, we can give comments. But other than that, we kind of keep them busy. So it's not that much of a mission. I think we set the standards and expectations quite early, and they abide with it.
If I can just sort of chuck in again. When I finish mine off, I normally have a little dish at the end with a few green peas in it, some chopped red pepper, possibly some chopped green pepper, very small. And I put that in roughly about 2 or 3 minutes before the noodles go. And it heats the peppers and the peas, it melts them, but it gives it that little bit of mixed colour
Yeah, nice, yeah.
and a little bit of mixed veg.
So similar to what you do, similar like the kedgeree as well. So I tend to teach that with the school kids that come in. But
It's a good way to
I like body in my products. I like a bit of crunch as well. I like a variation of texture. So yeah, but we'd add it just a touch earlier, just to get that half cooked, just to semi-bite.
Is
there a difference in veg food and together?